they come in with, the color and the bubbles and the fireworks, right? After they show you where you're going to watch those fireworks, then the show really starts.
Yeah, and that's just 3 out of 10 minutes,
Oh,
and
yeah. We haven't even gotten there
yeah,
yet. This is just like the
exactly.
hello, how are you doing? We haven't even been dropped into like the alien landscape yet.
It is time.
Hey guys, you're watching Galaxy Jams. Pleasure to be here. My name is Jared Cowen. I play in the band Baked Shrimp. I brought in this song, Jurassic Shift by Ozric Tentacles. Ozric Tentacles is one of those bands that a lot of times I bring them up to fellow other musicians or just people in general, and not too many people seem to know who they are, so it was pretty cool this morning when I sent Michael the video, and he was very, very thrilled to see that it was Ozric Tentacles, because we have the same taste, I guess, in music, and both really dig this band. They're actually a European band, and Ed Wynn is their guitar player, who is absolutely just unbelievable.
Virtuoso guitar god. He's up there,
Yeah, really, really crazy, and they're very psychedelic band, but not in like a 60s psychedelic way, like in like their own intense psychedelic way. And this is coming from a guy that doesn't really do psychedelics, so it's they're just one of my all-time favorite bands, and I thought this would be a cool song to check out.
All right, let's dive right in. Merv Pepler on the drum kit. He also plays as Eat Static, which is a psychedelic rock. There's psytrance music.
2 of the guys formed that band.
Right.
And the keyboard player also.
Yeah, I think they got Seaweed on the keyboard. Yeah, they do. They got Jumpin' John.
Yeah.
On the.
Love that bass groove.
Dude, they're just so amazing. It's like unbelievable. They're my favorite band of all time, by far.
Nice use of harmonics.
Yeah, the flute textures, and it just so perfect, with the harmonics and the.
I love how he's like pulling himself away from the mic to get those dynamic sounds.
Yeah.
Ed's about to come in and like straight up blow everyone's faces off.
like how famously the keyboards took over the lead.
Oh yeah. Woo! Man, yeah, it's like they just like, and I feel like what Ozric, this is an example of one thing that I really like about them is you see at the beginning they kind of like they show you where you are, right? So in the very beginning they're just kind of like, being subtle and like building, like Merv is like they're building the whole rhythm and everything, and then they come in with, the color and the bubbles and the fireworks, right? After they show you where you're going to watch those fireworks, then the show really starts.
Yeah, and that's just 3 out of 10 minutes,
Oh,
and
yeah. We haven't even gotten there yet. This is just like the
Exactly.
hello, how are you doing? We haven't even been dropped into like the alien landscape yet.
Approaching the nebula.
Yeah, and oh yeah, exactly. And then also their keyboards, like as good as like Ed is, like the one thing I love is like whenever he's doing that guitar work, the keyboardist is always behind him doing like these swoops, to augment like what he's doing, which I wish more bands did that, which is like support the guitar player when he's jumping out there to create that kaleidoscope behind him. And just the same way when Seaweed, the keyboard player, started doing that lead, Ed's right behind him doing that, like it's not even like rhythm though, he's still like picking out a melody, but the keyboardist is just so in the front that it's just absolutely sublime, right?
Yeah, their sound is incredibly unique.
Right.
Incredibly unique. There's been bands that have popped up like in the last 15 years that have tried to replicate it, but no one does it like
Yeah,
Ozric Tentacles.
no, definitely let's keep it in there. Like that, there was like bubbles by the keyboard. It's like unbelievable. Okay, let me just say, like his guitar, like I feel like he just has so much like those like Steve Vai, right? Like that, like I'm a guitar god, like I'm showing up, and like this is what we're here to do. And I feel like so many other.
Tasteful. It's still even like it's not even like it's over. It's still everything he's doing is so tasteful.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then also, if you listen to the studio version, it sounds so similar. Like that's one thing that's so unique is that their music's so complicated, but it's like they're really good at like they're such a good studio album, but live it's like they're so good too. Yeah, they're such a good studio
Jurassic
band.
Shift is like a top 5 studio album, of all time.
Definitely. Yeah, I actually have. Let me see if I can turn my camera here. I actually have that album framed.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, and behind me. So that's how excited I was that you brought it. Like I literally have a Lotus poster, Disco Biscuits poster, and then an Ozric Tentacles poster. That's how much. Yeah, but and so he's just like absolutely like I love how aggressive they are and how proggy they are, but not to the point where it's like pretentious. It's so hard to like.
Yeah, exactly. It's not at all. It's just like that's just their sound, and it's crazy. It's like it has so many layers, but like you said, you put that pretty great too. Is that their studio sound is very similar
right
to the live sound. The difference is that they just kind of take things out a little more live, and they
Which
and
is cool
go.
because if you study their music, then when you see them play live, like especially Ed, he does like little things that like, he knows that that it's like a different thing than what he normally does, and it's awesome. Let's
Yeah.
keep going. See how they have like that like alien like bird noise in the background too? It sounds like bugs.
Yep.
Crazy guitar.
Oh yeah, the actual guitar, and he also has this cool
Yeah.
design on his amp. It just sounds so strange and like alien.
Crowd sitting here too, or is that, or are they on people's shoulders? Like, looks like the crowd's sitting. I don't think they are though.
Yeah, I
Those
think
people
those
aren't-
two people are on someone's shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you be sitting to Ozric Tentacles? Come on.
I love how patient they are, to really show you
Oh, yeah.
like the world that they're sticking you in.
At the same time though, you kind of feel it that it's gonna come up. You know?
Oh yeah, they're gonna definitely. Dude, if I was there, I'd literally be like rolling around on the ground.
Yeah. Gotta give him a night set. Ozric Tentacles gotta be a late night race set.
See, another thing that I like what they do is like they bring you in for a landing, right? Because a lot of bands they take you there and then they're like bye bye, and Ozric Tentacles are like, let's clean you up before we send you back out there.
Yeah. They're still touring?
In the UK, they are. He's actually getting a whole band together, which I think is going to have Merv on the drums, and I think he's getting Seaweed to be on the keyboard. But yeah, they have a tour in the UK that's coming. That's like in November, December.
Oh.
I'm thinking of flying by myself to go see them.
Wow.
Like very seriously considering.
I've never seen them before. I know they don't come to America that often.
They used to. They used to actually live in Colorado.
Really?
He moved to Colorado. Okay, so here's like a really fun fact. So, one time I was in the car with my sister, and my sister lived in Colorado for a time. Okay, and I was in the car, and I'm like playing some music, and she's like, "Well, what band is this?" And I was like, "Oh, you've never heard of them." And she's like, "No, tell me." And I'm like, "You've never heard." She's like, no, really. And I'm like, there's this band called Ozric Tentacles. And she's like, I know them. So she used to be their neighbor and was actually hanging out while they recorded the album Yum Yum Tree, which is one of my favorite albums they've done. But she watched them do the whole entire album. And so I remember we opened up for Ozric Tentacles. I've met Ed maybe 7 or 8 times. And each time he goes, how's your sister, Mike? And I'm like, why don't you ask how I'm doing, Ed? Like, no, it's a joke, but it's awesome that like he's knowing my family, and he's been such a big part of my life. Like he's, I listen to him more than any other band times a million. And it's amazing that, my sister knew him like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's really cool.
How'd you find out
about
about them?
He's the only constant member, right?
Yeah, it essentially turned into the Ed Wynn band, and it actually had his wife at the time and their son. And who's playing the keyboard, and then someone playing drums, like rotating drummer. But that's like the thing about them is that their lineup kept moving in and out. Their drummer, one of their drummers, I forgot his name, Screw. Actually, okay, so the album Live at the Pong Masters Ball. Have you ever heard of that? It's a live album by theirs. And so I have their drummer took the drum head that they used to do that tour and signed it and mailed it to me. So I actually have that drum head from that show Live at the Pong Masters Ball here. And their drummer went on to form the band Hole with Courtney Love. And then also their bass player went on to help form Jamiroquai, and he joined Jamiroquai from Ozric Tentacles.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like they have like their hands, like a lot of people that's going in and out have gone to do very, very great things, from being in that band.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah.
I mean everyone that's been on that stage is, insanely talented.
Yeah, it's only virtuosos that's hitting it, but you're right. It's now mainly turning into the Ed Wynn's project, and he actually has like a solo career now, like the Ed Wynn project, which is Jason224 2001 says Hole was one of the biggest alt grunge bands, right? Yes, they were. Definitely, they were big back in the day.
They had their time, definitely. Hey, Jared, how did you come about listening to Ozric Tentacles?
That was one of my dad's big. My dad has like a crazy tape and CD collection.
Nice.
And, when I was growing up, he would play me, Grateful Dead, Fish, and Ozric Tentacles was one of the Jurassic Shift was one of the albums that was he would play. So, but I've just kept listening to it ever since. It's really yeah.
And they have so many albums too. Even now, he's still coming out with new music. We reviewed. Actually, he did a single with a gentleman that plays under the name Grace Rooms. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but if you follow Ed on Facebook, he talks about Grace Rooms quite a lot. And so he did a song with them under the name The Ed Wynn Band. and which is pretty cool. So I'd check that out. And anyone in the chat, I mean, they're just absolutely, they have so much stuff out there, and they're great to dive into. I was actually thinking of, because the thing is, they're my favorite band, so I don't want to play them like every single show. And I was, because I could. I was actually going to bring an Ozric song. I was going to play Erpland from them playing it live at the Sunrise Festival album, which is my favorite live album by theirs. But you picked a really good one too. This is a great video for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome that is like I said, like I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna bring this band that they probably never heard of, you know.
Oh no, they're
And it turns out to be your favorite band.
Ed's my guy. Every time I'm meeting him, it's like a dream come true. He's truly a wizard at what he does.